Biomed Nexus Daily Updates, your essential biotech, medtech, and pharma recap. No noise, just what matters. Executive Takeaway Boehringer. Ingelheim's Zongertinib has secured a landmark 44-day FDA approval under the new National Priority Voucher pilot, fundamentally rewriting the timeline for bringing critical drugs to market. Meanwhile, the sudden retirement of Sarepta's Doug Ingram marks a generational leadership shift in the embattled Duchenne muscular dystrophy sector, and BioMarin officially pulled its hemophilia gene therapy Roctavian in a stark commercial reality check. Read, full analysis. What to watch? The 44-day benchmark. The FDA's hyper-accelerated approval of Hernexios, Zongertinib, proves the National Priority Voucher can slash review times by over 75%. Expect a surge in Buy American manufacturing commitments from firms seeking to enter the pilot. Sarepta's succession. Doug Ingram's retirement by year-end, following family health diagnoses, leaves a power vacuum at the top of the rare disease world. Watch for potential M&A interest from Roche or Vertex as the company's Elevidys franchise faces commercial headwinds and leadership transition, generates market debut. Following yesterday's 400 Metals IPO, the trading performance of Generate Biomedicines, GENB, today will determine if generative biology can sustain a premium valuation in a cooling AI market. Gilead's cell therapy, bet with the 7.8B Arcellx acquisition. Closing in Q2, watch for Gilead to aggressively accelerate anito-cel's commercial prep ahead of the DEC 23 PDUFA date. This asset is now the definitive linchpin of Kite's turnaround story. Top story, FDA approves Hernexios in record 44 days via new priority pilot. What happened? The FDA granted accelerated approval yesterday to Boehringer Ingelheim's Hernexios, Zongertinib, for adult patients with advanced, previously untreated, HER2 mutant non-small cell lung cancer, NSCLC. Why it matters? Filed just 44 days ago, January 13th, the approval is only the second ever under the Commissioner's National Priority Voucher, CNPV pilot. The drug demonstrated a 76% objective response rate, ORR, in treatment-naive patients, nearly doubling the historical standard of care. Executive impact. This is the definitive Macquarie-era signal. The FDA is now willing to bypass idle administrative time for drugs that address national health priorities. For sponsors, the voucher is now the most valuable regulatory asset in oncology. Oncology and rare disease. Cystimmune, BMS, Phase 3, win. Data. Reported positive top-line results for Iza-Bren, EGFR x-HER3 bispecific ADC, in advanced triple-negative breast cancer, TNBC. Signal. It is the first bispecific ADC to report dual positive PFS and OS results in TNBC, significantly outperforming physicians' choice chemotherapy. Gilead, Arcellx, 7.8B acquisition recap. Strategy. Gilead's definitive agreement to acquire Arcellx, 115 share, plus $5 CBR, gives it full control of anito-cel ahead of its DEC 23 PDUFA. Signal. Gilead is betting anito-cel can become a foundational treatment for multiple myeloma, with a safety profile that may edge out J&J Legends Carvykti. Sologenics, EMA orphan status. Milestone. Received a positive opinion from the EMA for Dusktide, SGX-945, for the treatment of Behçet's disease. Insight. This provides 10 years of market exclusivity in the EU for a condition currently lacking satisfactory treatment options. Puma Biotechnology earnings guidance reaffirmed 2026 net product revenue guidance of 194-198 million, projecting a return to net income by year-end. Clinical and research updates. TG Therapeutics BioMarin data. Published 5-year data in JAMA Neurology showing sustained efficacy and safety for ublituximab in relapsing MS. Separately, 6-year data at ECTRIMS showed 89.9% of patients remained free from 24-week confirmed disability progression. Impact: the long-term data reinforces durability, supporting an increased 2026 revenue target of $870 million. Rocket Pharmaceuticals, Danon disease. Update: reiterated that its pivotal Phase 2 trial of RPA501 is on track to resume dosing in 1H 2026 at a recalibrated dose, 3.8E13 vg kg. Irogene, Parkinson's, milestone. Achieved first US dosing this week in its Phase 2A trial for NuV-Nu-001, an off-the-shelf iPSC therapy aiming to replace dopaminergic neurons. Corporate developments generate biomedicines, 400 millimeters IPO. Debut, priced the largest biotech IPO of 2026 at $16 on share. The flagship-backed firm begins trading today on the Nasdaq under the ticker GENB. Viatris, restructuring. Cuts. Announced a 10% global workforce reduction, 3,200 jobs over the next 3 years, to save $700 million annually as it pivots toward high-margin ophthalmology and dermatology. BioMarin, Roctavian withdrawal. Action: officially pulled hemophilia. A gene therapy Roctavian from the market after failing to find a buyer, taking a 240-meter charge, 119-meter inventory write-off, 118-meter asset impairments. Insight: the withdrawal marks the end of a once promising blockbuster and a cautionary tale for gene therapy commercialization. BioMarin is now fully pivoting to its 4.8B amicus pipeline. Ligand Pharmaceuticals, earnings reported 48% growth in royalty revenue for 2025, driven largely by Travere's Filspari, which saw 108% YOY growth. Policy and Public Health, Senate Rare Disease Hearing. Policy: the Senate took aim at the FDA's rare disease review process, with lawmakers criticizing bureaucratic bottlenecks that persist despite the new, accelerated pilot programs. CDC meeting reset. Scheduling: the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, ACIP, rescheduled its delayed vaccine meeting to March 18 to 19 following recent administrative shakeups. MDUFA6 negotiations. Tension: fresh documents from MDUFA6 talks reveal a deep divide between the FDA and the medtech industry over TAP 2.0 expansion and fee structures for 2027. Read full analysis Biomed Nexus Pro. Institutional Intelligence Brief-in. Today's Pro Brief: the Zongertinib precedent, why the 44-day approval is the ultimate net present value NPV multiplier for domestic manufacturing. Sarepta SRPT. Risk framing. We model the M&A vulnerability created by Ingram's unexpected exit. Radiopharma. Surge. How Novartis's Texas expansion proves RLTs are immune to the onshoring cost inflation narrative. Upgrade to Pro today. Read full article. Selective 2026. Sponsorship placements are available. Reply directly to discuss a partnership or submit an inquiry here.